College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by AT&T. Mobilizing your world. By Lowe's. Hurry in today for big spring savings. And by Icy Hot Smart Relief TENS Therapy. Turn off pain.
It's been a great spot here in Las Vegas for San Diego State, the #1 seed, trying to win this tournament and get to the NCAA tournament. First half stats, shooting percentage. Look at Utah State. They shot it well yesterday in the win over Wyoming, and they are shooting it well right now. All right, first half highlights. Ala Abdelnaby off the bench. Julian Perry.
The Aggies were tremendous right out of the start here. Scoring, moving the basketball, and really started off playing well, and then the good ball movement. The answers for San Diego State. Pope with the knockdown. Malik
Pope. All right, you're the #1 seed. You come in here, you play in the 9 seed. You talked about at the outset, the longer Utah State hangs around, the more confidence they're going to get, and it looks like they are a confident bunch right now.
Well, it's because you've allowed them to become confident, and more confident. They've become emboldened now, and this is not the same team that you played at the tap. Now, that being said, you still have an opportunity here, first 5 minutes of the second half, if you're Steve Fisher and his team, to set a message and say, hey, listen, just a reminder for everybody around the league, we still are the #1 overall seed.
Let's check in with Evan Washburn. Evan?
Guys, I was able to catch up with head coach Tim Duria, and his message was this game's going to come down to the discipline we play with defensively. He felt like the reason San Diego State was able to go on that run was the fact they could keep the ball in front of them. Now, as for the foul trouble with the bigs and how he'll manage that, say it's not going to change how he does things. You will still see a mixture of man and zone. Offensively, we got to keep driving the ball.
Thank you, Evan. And that's a real story starting the second half. Utah State has 3 bigs. They all have 3 fouls. And so how do you divide the 6 fouls up between Lou Evans, Quinn Taylor, and Elston Jones?
Also got a chance to just kind of make eye contact with Shepard. Winston Shepard for just a second. Asked him how his heel was. As I pointed to it, he said, I'm fine, I'm fine. Now that may be I'm fine, I don't want to talk about it, or I'm fine truly.
Rector fearless to the glass. A nice rebound inside by Evans. Moore's 3, and that's short. Aztecs on the boards. Utah State actually out-rebounded San Diego State by 3 in that first half.
Had the edge in points in the paint as well, 18-16, Rich. And that is normally an area that San Diego State dominates.
Shepard looking for an opening, and he is sealed up. Pope wide open for 3. You can't leave Malik Pope wide open for 3. He's hit 3 of them in the ballgame.
Interesting approach by the Aztecs. As opposed to getting the ball inside for the higher percentage shot, they elect to go outside. Pope not letting them down.
On the cut, Spencer with a block. Mountain West career leader in block shots. Rector got a hand on it, runs it down and keeps it in bounds. Rector. And a bucket on the trail, Quinn Taylor.
Sloppiness right now by San Diego State. It was the same thing that afflicted them early in the first half. They were able to right it. They've got to make sure now that they limit their turnovers and be sound with the basketball.
Shepard driving, kicks, Kell hits a 3. And the Aztecs from distance are 4 of 9.
They'll 2-1-2 here with Shepard in the middle. Just strictly token, not forcing any traps or turnovers.
Well, believe it or not, this is the largest lead of 5 for the #1 seed, and a foul as Chris Smith went to the bucket.
Take a look at Kell again. As the Aztecs are on offense, good ball movement, the drive into gap makes the defense collapse. Nobody in time to get to Kell.
Well, he really is blossoming. He and Hemsley are going to be a handful the next couple of years. Kell a sophomore, Hemsley a freshman. First team All Mountain West was Trey Kell, the only Aztec to get that honor. Winston Shepard, second team. Chris Smith hits a free throw. San Diego State has a 4-point lead.
Utah State content to fall back after made buckets or misses into their half-court defense. No traps.
Shepard. Spencer kept it alive. Evans. The Aggies of Utah State beat Wyoming yesterday soundly. And 24 hours later, they've got the 1 seed. Spencer, Cheatham. Defense to offense.
And boy, they don't waste any time. They put an awful lot of pressure on your D to get back.
You sense a tipping point in the game right now.
But Utah State has to have an answer here. You can't go consecutive or 3 times down the floor without knocking a bucket down, especially against this Aztecs team.
Backdoor cut and a foul. Smith gets 2 more free throws.
Well, this is the underlying theme of the entire evening, or afternoon, I should say. Good defense leading to even better offense. The pass ahead and Cheatham would finish. I remind myself it's afternoon, West Coast time.
It is. Well, noon in Las Vegas is like 6 a.m. in a lot of places. Here's the bracket in the Mountain West. You and I have Nevada and New Mexico coming up. Fresno State is hot, the 2 seed. Boise State, Colorado State coming up as well. Andrew Catalon and Steve Lapis will have the call of those games later tonight. Evan Washburn, double duty Washburn. He's called today.
He's not allowed to leave the building, is he?
On all 4 games. Pope again wide open. Ooh, wow. Cheatham came flying in and knocked it out of bounds. Everybody's all right. Utah State ball.
Well, Cheatham seeing a lane to the basket and an opportunity off of a miss. Him and Spencer both inside that time. Cheatham lucky to come away uninjured.
All right, where can Utah State get some points?
Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you move this defense. This defense is awfully good when set.
Jalen Moore can get you points, and he gets 2 there. Moore in the ball game now with 7 to go with 6 rebounds.
Well, they didn't move it a lot, but they moved it enough, and they moved more enough. In other words, when you're an offensive set, when you're an offensive player in a set and you're moving, that becomes an awfully tough assignment. The best thing for a defender is to cover somebody who doesn't move at all.
Trey Kell, a zone buster there. And San Diego State stretches the lead back to 6.
Well, when they can defend and knock down perimeter jump shots like they've done here in the second half, San Diego State, that combination awfully tough to beat.
Rector, a 1-man press break. Utah State. Taylor, a 3. Whoa! Bangs it home.
Well, when you need money in Vegas, you head to the ATM. Banks are always open here during the day.
Back to a 3-point ball game. Rector trying to chase Kell down. Spencer and Rector battling inside, and Kell takes it himself, can't finish, poked loose, and here comes Utah State. Rector in the tall trees, got it with a right hand. Little guard, big motor.
And this is what's great about conference play. You're so familiar with each other. You're not intimidated. Right now, for every move forward that San Diego State has where they seem to separate themselves or are trying to, Utah State answers quickly.
7.6 assists for Rector. Kell, a 3. Got it, he bangs it home. Trey Kell. A couple of 3s here in the second half. Kell's got 11.
Assistant coaches plus Steve Fisher on the sideline, imploring his team to pick up the defense, not to let up.
Rector on a crossover, a rare shot, and Kell blocked it. Malik Pope got 13 in this ball game. Shepard going strong, and he's fouled on the baseline before the shot. Back and forth they go. The little man out of the Bronx, Shane Rector. Trey Kell with an answer from deep San Diego State by 4. AT&T Fast Analysis. Utah State is attacking the rim.
Well, we've talked about how they operate top of the program out on the perimeter. Well, they've decided a different approach is best here this afternoon. Getting into the painted area, forcing the rotations by the Aztecs, and they've been slow. That is your AT&T Fast Analysis, Rich.
Now, if you told me that Utah State would have a dozen points in the paint, I'd tell you, oh, that's a pretty good day. 24 points in the paint.
Again, we talked to Coach Duray before the game even started. He said, hey, listen, if you haven't seen us play a lot, for people out there watching for the first time, we are a perimeter-oriented team. We want to shoot the ball outside. We do not have a focus on the offensive end of the floor in the painted area. Well, they may not have post-up players this afternoon, but they're off the dribble, getting all the way to the rim.
San Diego State possession with a 4-point lead. You can see the 3-point shooting and a steal on the inbound. Lou Evans takes it away. And now Utah State trying to cut into this lead. Moore off a screen. Quinn Taylor, and he's fouled by Chol. The other story here for Utah State, they've got 3 bigs, that's it, and they all have 3 fouls. Taylor, one of them. Tim Duryea right now just trying to spread the fouls out between the 3 bigs, and none of them has picked up a foul yet. With a little more than 6 minutes escaping from this second half. Driving Perry with the right hand. Julian Perry had 10 points in the first half, and he's off the bench now and right back up on the scoreboard. It's a 2-point game.
Good swing of the ball from one side of the court to the other, and that's what sets up that penetration defense on the rotation, unable to close all windows and doors.
Hemsley in the backcourt for San Diego State. Matt Strigley's in, Dakari Allen's in, Shepard's inside, and he misses the runner. And the Aggies continue to do a great job on the boards. San Diego State, a ferocious rebounding team. But so far, Utah State not only has held their own, they're +4. Moore with the shot clock running down. Skip pass. Evans bangs home a 3. My goodness, the 9 seed is back on top of the 1 seed here in the Mountain West on quarterfinal day.
Keeping it simple, that's what the Aggies are doing. Once again, ball movement. Evans far in the corner. Defenders unable to close out in time. Nice stroke, stepping into that with confidence.
Shepard. Strigley, good 3-point shooter, has yet to find his rhythm this year, and he misses there. Chol the rebound, spinning, putback, Angelo Chol.
That's how offensive rebounds hurt you that time. Chol, as opposed to facing up, backs his defender down all the way to the rim.
That's going to be a turnover. Evans lost it. But the 9 seed won't go away. The 1 seed, San Diego State, by a point. Time now for the Reese's Perfect Play. Utah State's Jalen Moore to Julian Perry.
Nice backdoor. One guy looking for the other. Great spacing. And again, we talked about how important it is to swing the ball from side to side. Defenders on the weak side not ready.
The 1 seed by a point. Let's check in with Evan Washburn. Evan?
Well, Rich, Trey Kell has had a big impact on this game with 11 points, but he's currently on the bench receiving treatment. He's suffering from flu-like symptoms. He came to the bench about 5 minutes ago. He's got a cold, wet towel on his head. He's still available, but they're keeping a close eye on him. As we know more, we'll let you know.
Hey, Evan, any news on Winston Shepard? He motioned that he was okay.
Rich, the only news I can give you, and it's interesting, he obviously is available. He did change his shoes. He did have a tape job on that sprained right ankle. He changed his shoes. It was more of a comfort thing for this second half, guys.
All right, Evan, I'm happy to report that Allah changed his shoes at halftime as well, and it was more of a comfort thing here, too.
Are you saying I'm not comfortable sitting next to you? I'm quite comfortable, thank you.
Allen down the lane, and on a reach, Moore First personal on Jalen Moore. If you're just happening by, we're in the Mountain West. And this is a quarterfinal day in the very first game, the #1 seed, San Diego State. They dominated in the regular season. They're 16-2. Malik Pope off to Hemsley. Most feel they have to win the tournament to get to the NCAA. They did not have a great non-conference, but they've been dominant lately. And Utah State playing very well. Shrigley, he has that type of distance when he's well. Remember, he's got the knee brace on, just coming off of surgery. He has yet to find his legs. Moore. Makes space. Jump hook. He is such a fascinating player.
And it's such a nice, compact, efficient move that he gets the shot off way before the defense can even get to him. Here he is outside the lane, tries to get it back in the post before the defense can even get over there. Nice little baby hook from the baseline.
You see him so much on the perimeter, you forget he's got low block moves.
And again, patience, didn't rush anything that time. He saw where the defense was coming from, got the shot up quickly. Presence in the post, like that.
Shepard. He's got 9 points. Chol kept it alive. Shepard gets another shot. Nice play by Perry to tip it out.
Shepard doing a good job of looking for his teammates inside, just unable to convert.
This is Kell. Pope again. You can't leave Pope that wide open. He misses. He's hit 3 of them. Utah State, a little up-tempo and a block by Chol as Darius Perkins started the drive.
Well, the initial defense was great. They got back all of them as a unit. The block there along the baseline on Chol.
3 personals on Chol. Moore in tight. And so far, the foul trouble for Utah State. All 3 bigs with 3 fouls. They've hung in there. Evans misses. Evans, one of those bigs with 3 fouls. Chol. Wow. And it rolls around and out.
Not a bad move by Chol, just unable to knock that down, but you like the aggressiveness. How about the little spin move?
Moore, hard to the bucket. Missed it, got it back, ball fake, and he's fouled. Terrific work by the junior, a hometown kid who stayed home to play for Utah State, Jalen Moore.
Jalen's got a brother, Grayson, who's also on this team. He's the older brother, and his dad, Jimmy, was a Utah State Hall of Famer in baseball. Athletic family.
Inside College basketball is coming up. Of course, we're enjoying Bracket Week presented by Kubota. What a great day across the landscape of college basketball. Brent Stover, Gary Parrish, and the former New Mexico Lobo, Danny Granger, with Jerry Palm crunching the numbers. And inside college basketball. And the story here is that the 9 seed Utah State, who played yesterday, is giving the 1 seed all they could ask for. Pope in the post. Shepard. A reluctant shot, and he missed it.
Had the elbow jump shot instead of that little fadeaway one-legger from the baseline. A much tougher shot. Should have taken the first one when the opportunity presented itself.
Rector, and he's fouled by Cheatham. Boy, this little guy has been terrific. Junior guard out of the Bronx.
The worst thing against any kind of set defense is penetration into the heart of the lane. That time right into the painted area. nothing good ever comes by allowing penetration.
3 fouls on Xylem Cheatham. So Chol and Cheatham now with 3 fouls. Quinn Taylor sits down. Elston Jones is in for Utah State. 1 more for Rector. 8 points to go with 6 assists for the junior guard. Tim Duryea, who got a win in his very first conference tournament game, trying to shock the Mountain West and take down the 1 seed. Cheatham driving. Cheatham missed it. There was contact as well. Rector. Moore tells him to slow down. I don't know if Rector's got that speed on the gearbox.
Unable to change gears. Goes all out. Oh, a little sloppy there.
Jones got it back, and Moore floats one up.
Moore is lucky that time, not an offensive on Kell. Looked like he got that off arm with the little push.
Moore pokes it loose. Poke gets it away. Hemsley with Rector right on his shoulder. And it's a short shot clock now on the possession for San Diego State. Hemsley left hand, nice scoop. Jeremy Hemsley hasn't practiced for some time with San Diego State. His foot in a boot, but he scores there. He's got 4 in the ballgame. Smith met at the rim, rejected at the rim. The #1 seed on the ropes, Jeremy Hemsley, and San Diego State down a point. Here we go. Nuggets coming with the thunder.
Big finish. Going strong to the rack. Dreams to come true.
Less than a week away from the madness, and you can watch it all on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. First 4 starts in Dayton, then everybody heads to first and second round sites. The Sweet 16 and the Elite 8s. Anaheim, Louisville, Philly in there as well. And Trey Kell on the bench. We'll keep an eye on him.
Know how you feel, big boy.
Flu-like symptoms. Evans, it's a short clock for this Utah State possession. It's down at 5. Rector takes a look in tight against the bigs. Evans has to get it up, and they don't get a shot off in time.
One of the few times they looked a little discombobulated on the offensive end of the floor. They've basically not only gotten what they wanted, but they've showed some patience. That time out of a stop action, having talked it all over, pretty surprised they came out not on the same page.
What does Kell's absence mean for San Diego State on the floor?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with him handling the basketball. Now that you lose one more ball handler, it's going to force that young man right there with the ball in his hands, Hemsley, to do a lot more.
Shepard. Hemsley again. Cheatham. And finally Evans has the rebound. Aztecs missing from in tight. Rector kicks. Moore's 3. Got it! And the 9 seed continues their charge. Utah State by 4.
Very much the style of play these days. Rector with the penetration, and then instead of the kick to one of the guys out on the baseline, he kicks it all the way back out to the 3-point range where defenders can't get there.
Shot clock down. Hemsley on Rector. It's a block. And that's not a popular call in Logan, Utah.
Let's take a look at the penetration again. Here's Rector as he goes right down Broadway. And then you can see how wide open he is right here. Able to knock that down more in rhythm. And with a little enthusiasm as well.
Rector is just a ball of energy. He's not pretty, he's not elegant. We talked about his shooting stroke. But man, is he effective. 8 points, 7 assists. Allen. Right now, the Aztecs are getting great shots and not hitting them. Rector again. He's fouled. Right now, the Aztecs don't have an answer for this guy.
Well, nobody's finding him early enough in transition, and when you allow him to get ahead of steam, Rich, he becomes awfully difficult. In other words, it's like trying to cover somebody who's just on the off-ramp as opposed to somebody in the left lane. A lot different proposition.
I think Rector's in the fast lane right now. Evan Washburn, what you got?
Well, Shane Rector has really come on and inserted in the starting lineup yesterday, and I spoke to Tim Duria about this. It's been a storyline all season long. They've been waiting for Rector to emerge, and the move to the starting lineup meant Darius Perkins, a senior who'd started for 2 years, had to move to the bench. So, you know, a questionable call for Duria, but it's obviously paying dividends at this moment.
Absolutely, and you know, one of his best games, guys, of the year was the near win against San Diego State. Up in Logan, he had 15 points and 6 steals, and he's repeating that performance here in the tournament.
2-3 zone for the Aggies, tough to penetrate against because you've got to take on gaps as opposed to the man covering you.
Kell is back in, and he's short on the 3. The tip goes back to Kell. It's volleyball on the boards right now for the Aztecs.
And that's the exact word that Coach Correa talked about prior to this matchup when he sat down with us. Can't allow them to just keep tapping the ball to one another on the offensive end of the floor. We've got to finish the defensive exchange by garnering that board.
You know, for Tim Duryea, when it gets to March, he has some nice memories. They don't have a great basketball history at North Texas, where he played, but he was the co-captain of one of only 3 teams from that school to get to the tournament back in 1988.
Wife Angie, and he's got 2 twins, Tanner and Taylor. Tanner the son, Taylor the daughter.
He is, you know, really behind the 8 ball for Utah State. David Collette, who was their big and a terrific player, left the team, transferred 3 days before the season started, and that left an enormous hole. The offense ran through him. He was their big, and they've had to scramble to kind of piece it together this season. Shepard with a free throw.
And give credit to that man on your screen right there, because having to adjust on the fly, this is a team that still shoots 45.1%. I also don't want to leave. He's got one more child, this Coach Duryea, and I don't want to leave her out. Kelly, the 3rd child, I want to leave her out, thinking that we're playing favorites.
Utah State with the ball, leading the 1 seed here. Evans driving. Pope is there. The length of Pope alters the shot, and this is Pope. Kell playing with the flu is Trey Kell. Pope against Moore. Missed with the right hand, and Moore's got the rebound. Again, another good shot for San Diego State. And the #1 seed is down 3 with 4.5 minutes left.
You've got to be a little frustrated if you're Steve Fisher, because you're getting the shots that you want. These are makeable shots. Frustrating even more that they're not going in.
Moore is fouled. Is it before the shot? It is. So it's 1-1 for Jalen Moore. Eighth team foul. And Moore goes to the line. He'll shoot 1-1. 14 points, approaching a double-double, and he misses at front end. Has a great opportunity to stretch the lead for Utah State.
See if he can get something going to the basket if you're San Diego State. Just because the previous couple times down the floor, those shots haven't fallen, doesn't mean you need to abandon that. Stick with the higher percentage approach.
1 for their last 13 are the Aztecs. Lost it, Shepard. Rector, Moore, he lost it, and here comes Kell. Kell is fouled, and it counts.
San Diego State fortunate on both ends of the floor, partner. Kell's made basket off of a missed opportunity.
Kell with a hoop and the free throw. He could tie it. Audi player of the game. 14 points, 8 rebounds, and Jalen Moore has not come out of this game. He's played all 36 minutes of this quarterfinal matchup. And the 9-seed Utah State is trying to bust the bracket right now in the Mountain Wests. New Mexico and Nevada half an hour after this one is done. And later on tonight, Fresno State, the 2-seed, against UNLV. And Boise State and Colorado States. But in hand here, the 1-seed San Diego State down a point. Trey Kell at the line. Rich Schwartz, Abdul Nabi, Evan Washburn here in Las Vegas. Kell playing with the flu. Despite it, he's got 13 points and 4 rebounds. Misses the free throw. It's tipped out. Kell saves it. And Spencer has it. And a fresh possession and a chance to take the lead.
Great hustle by Kell. St. Augustine High School from San Diego.
Not a good shooting half for San Diego State. Allen fouls on the reach. It looked like Perry got him. Free throws for the Aztecs. They're a 69% free throw shooting team.
Again, Allen with the penetration, forcing the Utah State defenders to scramble. We talked about penetration leading to nothing good. Nothing good for the defenders anyway.
Another missed free throw. Remember, 9-point lead, 1 minute left against Boise State. The Aztecs missed 7 consecutive free throws and lost the game. Steve Fisher's bunch now dead even, 59 apiece. The 9-seed Utah State, the 1-seed San Diego State. The Aggies have been terrific throughout. Perry misses the 3. And Moore way up for the rebound. Nope. Jalen Moore approaching a double-double.
Excuse me, partner. Nobody for San Diego State blocking anybody out. That time Moore not only was able to get his steps right, timed that perfectly and got up higher than everyone else.
Rector against Spencer got it up, and the tip, a foul on San Diego State. Lou Evans is going to get free throws, and it looked like Rector just wanted to get it up and have a teammate give it a shot.
Bird's eye view here, and Evans coming in anticipating that offensive rebound off the miss.
Third personal on Malik Pope. Lou Evans right at 70%, and he bangs one home. Utah State fans down from Logan. Not a lot expected out of them in this tournament. They took down the 8-seed yesterday, really dismantled Wyoming. They had a 41-16 lead at one point in that game.
Well, it's never easy when you're playing against conference foes, especially conference foes that know you inside and out, know your system, know your plays, know your play calling. It takes an awful lot come conference tournament time to beat a conference foe.
The lead is 2. The #1 seed in trouble in the Mountain West. With 2:40 left, down 2.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by LG. Do game day right with LG, official partner of the NCAA. By Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. And by the all-new Audi A4.
One of the many things you can do in Las Vegas.
Sign me up.
The NCAA tournament hopes for Steve Fisher and San Diego State are in the balance in our game reset. Plenty of timeouts. 1-1 for San Diego State with the next Utah State foul. And the possession arrow goes to the Aztecs. But a tournament bid will not go to the Aztecs if they lose this game. That's the consensus. Just ask Jerry Palm, Gary Parrish, Brent Stover. They'll be with us for Inside College Basketball between games. Second game, New Mexico and Nevada. But at hand right now, the fate of the #1 seed. With 2.5 minutes left. Where do you go for points?
Well, I think the first thing is with 2:30 left, you do not need any threes. Try to get something going to the basket. That's why Utah State has gone to a zone.
Kell to the basket, got it up, and the rebound by Rector, who rips it out and peels out with the possession for Utah State.
Got into the lane, but wasn't in a position to make any play, or for that matter, take a high percentage shot.
Utah State doing most of their damage lately from the free throw line. Moore eyes the shot clock. Corner, three, Smith missed it. Big rebound by Cheatham, who goes way up to get it. And then elbows, it looks like, Evans, who goes down in pain. And this is one they're going to look at the monitor. Cheatham had the rebound, whether the elbow was intentional or he just caught it on the back end. I'm sure the officials are going to look at it.
Cheatham absolutely oblivious of the review. Didn't understand what the call was. Let's take a look at it again. Bird's eye view here. Rebound with two hands.
From that angle, you can't see. Here's the best angle.
I don't know, buddy. That looks like an early entrance to next year's Academy Awards right there. Evans perhaps taking it to another level.
Well, I think level is the right word, because the proximity of the elbow, so to speak, doesn't take a lot to be painful there.
No doubt about it. I see where you're going with that, partner. My point is he doesn't seem to be throwing his elbows errantly. If anything, he's got both hands on the basketball, and he's just trying to swing and pivot through. I don't see anything wrong with that myself. But, again, I've seen crazier interpretations. Certainly feel for the young man.
All right, the fact that they blew the whistle, there's going to be a foul. It's just the degree of foul. A flagrant 1 is excessive contact. Flagrant 2, severe or extreme contact.
I just don't seem to, I don't believe, or I'm not of the belief that Cheatham intentionally did that. I believe he was just trying to carve himself some space in a tight area. I don't know. I don't know.
He wasn't looking at him.
No, and I don't think he knew even where Evans was in relationship to his body, to where to hit him.
Michael Irving, Tony Padilla, Larry Spalding, the officials for this quarterfinal game. It's a big call.
Should be allowed to grab the rebound and pivot and hold somebody off of you. If that person is overplaying you and he happens to catch an errant elbow, so be it. Game has changed, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they come down harshly.
Utah State's going to get the basketball. You would think. Although the way this discussion is going, I don't know about that now.
Doesn't look like Coach Doria is liking what he's hearing.
After video review, there is no foul on the play.
That's what I think.
All right, one of the officials just told us, by rule, they can retract the foul. And in watching the video, they've taken the foul away. It's an enormous swing for San Diego State.
Well, we're not supposed to root for anybody, but I'm rooting for the referees. That was a good call right there. Allowed them to play. In other words, Cheatham trying to garner the rebound. He wasn't trying to intentionally hurt anybody. Play on.
1:43 left. San Diego State, the 1 seed, is down by 2. Pope in traffic hits and ties the game. Timeout, Utah State, 1.5 left.
Aggie fans not liking the no call. Pope out on Moore. Or Moore, I should say, covering Pope. Goes right by him. Nice simple move into the painted area. Gets the shot off before the defender is able to come and help.
So the review, which goes San Diego State's way, is an enormous swing. The Aztecs have tied it. It was actually a San Diego State timeout. They have just one left. Utah State has 3 left. And the arrow goes to San Diego State. In the huddle, Tim Duryea, first-year head coach. What's he talking about with this next possession?
Well, first off, he's saying if guys are coming in complaining about the last call, move past that, get that past you. Now what we've got to do coming out of a stop action is make sure whatever play he draws, 1:31 left, plenty of time. You don't need to rush in a tie ball game. I would advise get something going to the basket, put pressure on the San Diego State defense, see whether or not they can be disciplined and not foul.
Big moment in the Mountain West. The 1 seed and the 9 seed, San Diego State and Utah State, all tied at 61.
No need for jump shots. Get something going to the basket. Free throws are just as good.
Rector blocked by Spencer. Shot clock at 11.
I like the idea by Rector. Jumped off the wrong foot as we take a look at it again. And Spencer was able to come back and swat that away. But you like the idea that Rector's thinking about probing the interior that deep.
San Diego State, the 1 seed, prohibitive favorites here. A little tap back. That was dangerous. They don't have a lot of shot clock. Rector goes to work in a crowd. Moore's 3. It was contested and loose. And San Diego State has it.
And Moore fell to the ground trying to bait the officials into a call. I didn't see it, but the officials agreed and didn't call it.
Now Kell goes to work. Contact. And a bucket. No whistle. San Diego State by 2. 45 seconds left.
What flew for Kell? Looked pretty spry on that little drive. Found the basket. Kiss off the rim.
Rector. Short. Moore. And it's tapped out of his hands. Wait a minute. The officials, I think, are going to reverse this. And they do. Utah State ball. 33 seconds left. Tim Duryea wants a timeout. Officials will look. Here's our first look at it. Moore had it, and clearly it was knocked out of his hands by Dakari Allen.
Well, you can also see the direction in which Moore and Allen were going. That one seemed pretty obvious. Officials today, this afternoon, did a pretty good job of controlling this game, Rich.
I agree.
Take a look at it from the baseline.
Now, one thing to remember, the original call,
sideline, I should say.
The original call was San Diego State's ball and then overturned by another official. So it makes sense that this review is going to have to overturn the second official.
Again, you just want to get it right. That's the bottom line. And I think to be fair to both teams, that should be your only objective. And you don't worry about overruling 1 or 2, or for that matter, every official in the building. You just want to make sure that you get it right for the betterment of the game.
But of course, in a video review, there has to be
conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence. I think that's pretty conclusive, don't you?
I agree.
You were right on that first one. You were all over the elbow.
Well,
so I'm going with you.
They very rarely agree with me, officials. That goes back from the days I played.
(63-61). If you're just joining us, San Diego State is the #1 seed. Utah State, the 9 seed. They had to play yesterday, did Utah State, and they were marvelous in wiping Wyoming right off the floor. And they have given San Diego State quite a game here. It is a Utah State ball. And since the shot hit the rim before the deflection, full shot clock. But of course, 33 seconds game clock. Where do you go for Utah State?
I think you got to go inside. You look for more, get something out on the perimeter, one-on-one. There it is, and take it to the basket. Let's see what he does with it.
Against Shepard is a good defender, and long.
Switching everything as well. So now Moore finds himself being covered by a taller guy.
Rector drives and kicks. Evans in tights, fouled. That was Taylor off the Evans pass. And Quinn Taylor will shoot 2 enormous free throws.
You can see San Diego switching everything, and a good pass inside to Evans.
Taylor just 61% and has not shot a free throw.
Check that. Not Evans, but Taylor.
Misses the first. It's a familiar sight in March, isn't it? 18 seconds left. One more free throw from Quinn Taylor. Quarterfinal day in the Mountain West Conference. This is the first of 4 on CBS Sports Network, and a great game here. The 1 seed, big favorites, San Diego State. It's been dead even the entire way with the 9 seed Utah State. We've got New Mexico and Nevada. Those guys just played a nail-biter a few days ago. That's coming up. And later on tonight, Andrew Catalon and Steve Lapis will be courtside for the 2 seed, Fresno State, UNLV, and the 3 seed, Boise State against Colorado State. 2 timeouts left for Utah State. And a free throw coming. Steve Fisher. A lot of things to talk about here. I'll remember, though, the free throw shooting woes for San Diego State in this game. They're 11 of 20. And in that collapse down the stretch against Boise State, they missed 7 consecutive. So a vulnerable team at the free throw line is San Diego State. Boise State showed that in that upset win.
Got to make sure now that you don't anticipate any makes if you're San Diego State on the inside block. You block out no matter what.
Taylor just back from his LDS mission in Brazil. Freshman out of Houston. Missed it. Missed them both, and it's lost out of bounds. Cheatham lost the ball. Utah State gets it back with 17 seconds left.
And that's something that you hope they don't look back on and regret. Missed opportunity, that's a gift. Rebound comes to you, another gift, and you turn them both away. Give the ball back to the Aggies.
Julian Perry is in for Utah State. That's Perry, number 5, jogging to the left wing. He's had a great game here. He's in for his offense.
Looking for some cutters going to the basket. 4 along the baseline. I should say foul line.
Perry off the screen. Smith got to get it in, and a timeout just in time for Utah State. They've got 1 left with 17 seconds left. Need we remind you that San Diego State is one of the best defensive teams in the country. Long, agile, active. And right now, Steve Fisher drawing up his plans to defend Utah State. He's got some elite defenders to choose from. Spencer's the defensive player of the year. Allen is his defensive stopper. And of course, Shepard is a nightmare to play against at 6'8" with the long wingspan.
And you talked about it, how good this defense is, stout. And what's wonderful for Steve Fisher and his approach is defense travels. In other words, wherever you go, home or away, in this case a neutral court, your defense can always show up. Look at how far he's coming out on the court.
He wants to get in the rotation.
Yeah, Steve Fisher asking for some minutes.
There you go, and there's the proof in the numbers. That's NCAA rank on the first, number 1 against field goals.
And I'm a firm believer, and that's a better indicator of good defense than just total points scored.
Moore on the catch, so Moore's got it. Down 2, Moore driving, layup, Shepard rebound, and he's fouled. 10 seconds left.
That's really good defense by Shepard. Disciplined, see him moving his feet, not fouling. Sure, he swipes at it, and that's a 1-and-1 down the other end of the floor. But how about the discipline from Winston Shepard, moving his feet, no fouls. What else would you expect from your senior?
And that's an important distinction, 1-and-1. Shepard is 3 of 5 today, 70% on the season. Of course, you got a rebound if he misses. Big shot by the leader of the San Diego State team.
Now, if you're San Diego State, Utah State's going to come down and try to push it. As defenders for the Aztecs, you want to keep everybody in front of you. No long passes. Everybody play deep free safety, if you will.
He missed the next. Rebound to Utah State. They need a 3. 8 seconds left. And a foul, a heads-up foul out between the circles. 7 seconds left. Boy, that ball was just arriving to Perry, who's a good three-point shooter.
I believe the foul was on Evans. It was.
And Kell
fouling Evans.
Smart move by Kell.
Indeed.
Evans gets 2. He's 71%.
Transfer from Tulsa. Was a freshman at Casper College in Wyoming.
Enough time to make this one and then foul again.
Oh, I would think you would automatically have to foul. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to waste too much time with 7.1 seconds left. However, San Diego State may not allow you the simple pass, and they may pass ahead.
Drops. It's a 1-point game, and a substitution for both sides allows everybody to set up. And I think Utah State is going to call a timeout. Both teams want to talk about it. And it is Utah State. They are out of timeouts. They're down a point with 7 seconds left.
If I'm Coach Fisher right now, I'm doing the exact opposite of what the Utah State Aggies are expecting. In other words, I'm not inbounding the balls near the baseline. I'm throwing it into half court. I'm getting my best ball handlers. As opposed to being at the foul line, I'm putting them at half court, and if need be, they can run back to me and shorten the distance. But I'm not going to allow them to foul me 94 feet away and chip up very little of the clock. Pass it towards half court, and they might have to take away a second or two by the time they get to you.
The #1 seed, San Diego State, on quarterfinal day in the Mountain West, is up by only a point. The Aztecs have the ball in backcourt. It's been a miserable day at the line for Steve Fisher's Aztecs. They are 12 of 22. And they're still in a 1-and-1 situation with a foul by Utah State. And there's Shepard, who made 1 of 2. Hemsley is the best free throw shooter on the floor at 77%.
You just passed this past half court right now. Both defenders are playing for Utah State are playing in front, allowing the guys to get behind.
Kell knocked Moore over, and Smith fouls immediately. Tim Duryea was right there. He wanted a foul. Moore. Let's take a look. A little bit of off balance, but there was an elbow. I mean, not an elbow, but a shove.
Well, that's what's called a V cut. In other words, you're literally taking it one way, then changing directions. That time, Kell using the old school approach to get the ball inbound. There's the V part of the cut, or just a little, as you touched on it, partner, off balance. That's not a push off.
All right, 1-and-1. Kell makes it. Regardless of what happens here, Utah State still has a chance. Not a lot of time. Just under 6 seconds.
Sophomore shoots 65%. Makes them both, partner.
A 3 can tie it. Rector got to hurry. And he's fouled. Was he shooting? He looked like he was shooting. The official says no. That's a heads-up move by Rector. As the foul came, he started the shooting motion. Oh, he's shooting.
I don't know about that.
I know he's 50 feet away from the bucket, but isn't he starting a shooting motion?
He could be. That could be argued, but let's see. You can't really tell. That's at his hip. Now, I'm not saying that he was going to continue to dribble, but he may have picked up his dribble and passed it along. But I know what you're saying. You're giving him the benefit of the doubt. I can appreciate that.
It is tough to get that call when you're not past half court.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, 3.8. Rector hits a couple. It's back to 1. San Diego State has the timeout. Utah State does not. And a foul in the backcourt.
Flagrant foul.
And it's a flagrant foul on Julian Perry of Utah State. My goodness, with 3.8 left in a 1-point game, the ball not even inbounded. Perry called for the foul.
What were they thinking of? Were they trying to hack a Dakari there because it's Allen at the line?
And maybe they were trying to get a foul without losing any time.
Yeah, and that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to foul away from the ball. Now, here's an approach that she should have taken. As you coming in from that stop action, walk over to the official and say, hey, I'm going to foul him right now, so it doesn't come as a surprise. Perhaps, therefore, you can avoid that flagrant foul.
Well, that changes everything. Now it's a 3-point game.
Nothing wrong with letting the officials in on your strategy.
An intentional foul.
Yeah, just say, hey, listen, when the ball comes in, I'm fouling this guy, just so you know.
Hemsley fouled immediately.
That's worse.
Well, it's a hard foul. Hemsley was off balance.
No, I meant worse than the flagrant at half court.
3.2 left.
So far, so good. Both guys chasing the ball down. That is a good hard foul. It's just ironic that the foul at half court previously was a lot less contact involved. That looks like a good reversal. Wrestling, that's 2 points, right?
And it's more free throws for San Diego State. And now the officials are going to go to the monitor to look.
Take a look at it again. Pass over Hemsley's head. Hemsley anticipating the foul, just kind of curled up with the ball, bracing himself for the contact. I don't think that's a flagrant either. That's just a good hard foul.
The only problematic thing for Shane Rector is the right hand.
Right, because it looks like a pull down. That's a love tap back when you and I were kids, huh, Rich? You thank someone for fouling you that lightly.
The Aztecs in a great position here to advance. And who would have thought that this game would come down to the last seconds and free throws like this?
Well, Coach Daria certainly hoped for this kind of outcome. San Diego State had higher hopes.
A flagrant one, and that's going to bring everybody off the line. And essentially, San Diego State is going to have to try really hard not to win this game at this point. Hemsley, their best free throw shooter, gets 2.
Could be a wrap.
And it's a 4-point game with 3.2 left. And now San Diego State gets the basketball as well. So for Steve Fisher and the Aztecs, it looks like rather than advance, they're going to escape the quarterfinals.
Survive and advance. I don't think, no matter what it looks like, you will take it.
And Moore with the foul. But the key call and one of the nuances of the game this year, in that last seconds, you can't just grab a guy and get an intentional foul and pick the worst shooter and hack a shack, so to speak.
I can certainly understand the approach. I think, again, this is just me perhaps drawing back on a lot of years of playing basketball, but we were always taught to go up to the official if you were going to do something out of character and just forewarn him. Now, that may be being said, he may have still wind up calling the flagrant foul, but soften the blow a little bit and make sure that it doesn't come as a surprise.
So Hemsley is putting this one away, and San Diego State is going to win their 24th game of the season. They won't get great style points, but for Steve Fisher and the Aztecs, they survive a quarterfinal win into the semifinals and a real scare. Shane Rector and Utah State have a lot to be proud of. They played a whale of a game here to open up quarterfinal day. San Diego State will get the winner of New Mexico and Nevada. And then later on, all the games on CBS Sports Network: Fresno State, UNLV, Boise State, Colorado State.